Welcome again to Wickerson Studios. I want to get some people modeling digitally. This is, digital modeling for the 21st century sculptor. What I have is a rendering here that I pulled out in a matter of minutes after doing a little geometries in Grasshopper. I want to show you how I go about it. I know I'm getting a little bit of a following, which is feeling pretty encouraging. We're going to jump out of this and jump into the Grasshopper Script. It's a little intimidating to look at, obviously, but don't let it fool you. This is basically scripts that I went through to learn every nodes in the vector file, and actually it only taps into a few. And I actually start with, I think, this series, which went into the vector fields, and that's it. I just applied a few of the field nodes to this. And I think that's the best thing to do is start, learn all the nodes, build your scripts up as you go, grab one, and then forget all this top stuff that you see here. Everything in here, I'm not even going to think about. I'm going to just take this one file, cut and paste it, and start down here and start building with it. And this is how I built this geometry. So I'm going to try and show you that in a very short period of time. What we have is a few renderings here that I'm just going to put in. Oops. I'm going to grab it. Oh, I'm in a locked. Ugh, what is going on? Oh, I've got a huge landscape there. That's why I want to grab all my geometries and hide them. And I want to show you basically what's going on with this file. That said, we'll go into perspective only. If it would just listen to me, it's being a little stubborn. Pull that over, and basically that was a script that I generated before as I started to learn what a circle does with a surface. Thinking of a cloud of points, think of populating that geometry using closest point, using the spin forces, basically to generate a pretty cool geometry like this. And that's it. I start with these curves and lines. I can play with that parametrically, change it. I'm not going to. That's a simple demo online that you can download. Put that in a script, take that file, put it in your snippets tool, cluster it, have it on your desktop, and use it. Don't start modeling with a blank slate. It's not like painting. Whenever you're a sculptor, you have tons of materials and tool and a whole shop and a foundry beside you. So have everything laid out for you. Got a little bifocal tool on here so I can see what I'm doing. I basically grab a list length of those curves of how many are in there. I continue through with the domain all the way through a range and jitter. Basically, I loft up those pieces in a random jittered form. I take the list length of that, of all those items, and I bring it into another type of script, which I've used tons of times, and it's the same thing. I'm going to rotate those geometries. I'm going to do it by another range that's been multiplied by a simple function, and boom, I have another parametric control over top of how I want to move those things around. I then go into rotating the axis again just for fun, and I pipe them. That's it. I also took all the endpoints, start endpoints, and threw on a mesh spheres. And in doing the mesh spheres, I decided to just take right back out of this multiplication, the range to that function, multiplied to that domain to that setting. And what I have is this and this geometry, and I am done. There's my thing. And that's saying that's done. I'm going to go back in, grab a past script that's in my snippets tool up here, which you know I use all the time, which is basically a surface edit. It's a script that uses geometries. I love to go to it because I can change anything I want about this little basic landscape, and then I throw a huge platform on top of it. You can see that I basically have that surface, and then I have this surface that I just want to have a backdrop so my ground plane can be transparent and it can show multiple colors. I tell you, when you get into rendering these things, there's my script. I basically used a simple tutorial, used a couple of my basic strips to generate these geometries, and you can see how tiny they are, but there they are. This little geometry on top of this geometry, on top of that surface, on top of that huge plane. And that's it. They've all been baked. Let's leave Grasshopper and bring out all the baked items. There they are, and position them, put them into a rendered mode, start to add your colors, and that's exactly what I did. I went into here, I downsized my Grasshopper tool, I fully expand my my Rhino window. I'm going to pull this up here, and basically I'm going to go into render. What did I have all my settings at? I made a big picture. I can lock my viewport if I want. It doesn't matter. I think I'm a little frozen. No, I'm not. I'm stuck in this huge plane, so I have to leave that. I want to be over here on this side. Let's zoom into where it was. Think about this and what I would do to it. I've set my DPI to 300. I've done a final quality print. I brought in a gradient. You can take that off, but I prefer to have it on. Not a solid color, but a gradient color. And then you can apply it by going on here and getting the color wheel. Except my face is, that's one nightmare using these little pictures. anyhow, I take off my sun and my sunlight so it'll render fast. I left on my curves. I could also take them off. And boom, then I'm into, and actually I think I have a ground plane that I put another color on as well, green. So I've got the green and red kind of complementing each other. Then I've got my materials, and here they are, plastic, metal, glass, and glass. And I assign those as objects. As I click on here, assign to whatever object I wanted. That said, I take it back to the render mode. I pop it in usually in a fast render, and bam, that's what you end up with. Very simple to think about what's already prescribed for you online. You can have a little fun with it. Maybe I'm making it seem a little too easy in 5 minutes, but once you get some of these scripts going, you are making as much artistic decisions creatively as you would make in any medium. Once again, digital sculpture, digital modeling for the 21st century sculptor. Hope you enjoy it. Subscribe to Michael Wickerson at YouTube, and let's keep this project going. Thank you very much for watching.